Hey there everybody, welcome back for another video. This one is going to be focused on that terrible thing that nobody ever wants to deal with. It's the character crisis. So a character crisis is unfortunately a very real thing that a lot of people in fighting games have to deal with. Even maybe if you're playing something like Overwatch or League of Legends or something like that. Who do you main? Who do you want to spend time with? Who do you want to dedicate hours and hours to learn and get good at the game with, right? So how do you go about addressing something like a character crisis? Well, I've thought about this for what I feel is extremely important and for how you can kind of get a very well-rounded type of feel or thought process behind you trying to avoid hopefully your character crisis with. So I have a few things that I feel are extremely important, and I'll just list those off really quickly and then we can get more in depth with those. So the very first thing and the most important thing is that you play somebody that you enjoy, somebody that you like. Now this can be for multiple reasons, but we'll get into that in just a second. And the second thing is to play somebody that you strongly believe in or that you feel is mid to top tier, somewhere along those lines. And then the third thing, considering that you are playing something like a team-based game such as Dragon Ball FighterZ where you do pit those three characters, is to pit somebody that you feel rounds out your team extremely well. Somebody that covers your bases, covers up your weaknesses, and that just pulls everything together very well. Other important things to consider on top of those three things that I think are the primary things you should focus on is, what are your goals for the game? Are you strictly playing the game to have fun? Do you want to be better than some people? Do you want to be competitive in some way, whether it's just amongst your friends? Is it going to be at locals? Is it going to be going to bigger events, majors, super majors like Evo, something along those lines? Do you want to try to place very well there? Do you just want to have originality for your team? Something along those lines. You need to have some sort of goal and something that you're striving for in some way. And then the second thing for that is going to be your play style. So what do you play like? How do you play? So those things are going to be important. What do you emphasize and what do you focus on when you're trying to decide on a character? Now with team-based games, this can vary a little bit more, but for certain things like Smash, I personally like characters that have good spites. So if I'm going off the ledge, maybe somebody like Captain Falcon who ends up having a knee, who has the stomps, even Yoshi with this big old head where he's able to smash people with that and be able to get them off the ledge. And think about other things too. Do you want to be up in somebody's face, a lot of really aggressive playstyle? Do you want to play more bat? Do you want to have projectiles, be a zoner? What type of things do you want out of a character? Alright, so let's actually get into the main talking points. So point one being the character that you like, somebody that you enjoy as a personality in the game, their lore, whatever that may be. You need to play a character that you like. And then part two, playing a character that you believe in. Sometimes you can get lucky and get both of these things grouped up in one, and that you can just stick with that character. So this is a little bit more important for having both of those things in a competitive single player fighting game, something like Tekken, Street Fighter, Smash 1v1s of course, where you need to play somebody that you enjoy and hopefully that you can get mid to upper tier. Now considering that you can't fit both of those requirements, I think that you need to probably pick two characters, considering that something like Street Fighter, Tekken, like I said, single fighting games, at least for 1v1s basically, not 3v3s like in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So the reason for this being that, and I'm going to focus on the first point here to start off, is that if you are not playing a character that you enjoy, whether it is that you like them for their lore, for their looks, for their characteristics in some way, whatever that may be, if you're not playing a character that you like, then you are not going to have a good time. You are going to have a bad time. So you need to make sure that you are picking somebody that you enjoy from, if it's the Dragon Ball show, that whether it's Dragon Ball Z, Super, even if you enjoy GT, whatever that may be. You need to play somebody that you like. For me personally, that is going to be Vegeta, and in this game, of course, there are a number of Vegetas that you can choose from. In Smash, there are Echo Fighters that you can choose from, but for me, it is going to be Super Saiyan Vegeta. He happens to fit that mid to higher tier category, which is kind of the second point that I'm getting into for a character that you believe in. So thankfully, he's my favorite character, and he also fits into that kind of belief category as well. So play somebody that you enjoy. You don't want to make it work. You don't want to make it unenjoyable for yourself. You want to like the game. You want to have fun with the game, and that is of the most importance, since video games, unless you are super crazy high tier and you were doing this for a living, but even then, you still need to have fun with the game. If you're not having fun with the game and you are that top tier pro and whatnot, you're going to burn yourself out. You're not going to be sticking with the game for too long. There's just no point for you to do it, right, if you don't like the game. So you have to make sure that you're really enjoying the game and that you are having a good time. So pick somebody that you like, pick somebody that you love, find out what is super important for you. It could be that the character is attractive. Who cares? If it's somebody that you really like for that reason, then play a character that you love. Now, the second part for importance, at least in my opinion, is going to be picking a character that you strongly believe in. Now, what does this mean? So this is kind of more for perceived strength. Now, this gets a little bit into kind of going into tier lists. Now, you can believe tier lists as much as you want one way or another, but if you believe in a character, then that's good. You need to be able to believe in a character. Confidence is a really good thing. Confidence, now not being overconfident, but confidence that you are capable of doing something is good. It empowers you. It gives you the perception that something can be done at your own will, at the character strengths, whatever that may be. So if you are not picking somebody that you perceive to be a good character, then you're going to have a problem there as well. So somebody, for me, that I perceive to be a good character and that I ended up putting on my team ended up being Cell. So Cell wasn't on my team for a really good while. I kind of played with him a little bit. I actually personally, this is something for me personal, funnily enough, that I tried to avoid super top tiers. So somebody like Bardock, I will probably never play. I've messed with them a little bit, but that's just something for me personally. Definitely not go tense for anytime soon anyways. I avoided people like Kid Buu. Who else did I avoid? Now, Super Saiyan Vegeta was kind of an exception to this since he's my favorite character, so I said I don't care whatsoever. I am going to play Super Saiyan Vegeta since he is my favorite character. So we have Super Saiyan Vegeta. But picking somebody that you believe in, that you feel is a strong character. If you feel a low tier character is a strong character and you strongly believe in them, you might not even feel that they fit that first category, that you like them most as a character. Like, for example, everybody clowns on Android 17. Everybody feels that Android 17 is probably the worst character in the game. If you feel very strongly that I like all of his tools, I like his kit, I believe in this character like nobody else does, that he can win, he can do extremely well, then hell, pick Android 17. So perception of your character strengths are extremely important, and especially in a game where you can pick 3 characters, you need to pick somebody that you feel is extremely strong and that you believe can get the job done. And now this third point, for me, after I really thought about it, I was kind of struggling coming up with this point, but I feel that you need to pick a character that rounds your team out, considering that it is a 3v3 game like this. Now, of course, as I mentioned, some of these points can overlap with each other and you can hit that sweet spot. So for a character that you believe in, that might also be a character that rounds out your team very well, or that gives you everything that you need. So one of the older teams that I was running actually happened to be this one right here, which was Piccolo, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Super Saiyan Goku. Now, I personally really don't like Goku as a character. I think he's okay, but he's definitely not up there in comparison to somebody like even Tien. I enjoy Tien as a character more than Goku for sure. Master Roshi, definitely Piccolo. I don't know, even Android 16, Captain Ginyu, stuff like that, right? So you need to, if you have the other traits and you're able to pick 2 characters off of that, have the third character be somebody that really rounds out your team, covers your weaknesses, that just pulls everything together as best as possible. For some of you, you might need to bite the bullet a little bit, or maybe you can't. If you can't bring yourself to play as one character because you hate them so damn much, then don't play that character. Like I said, you need to enjoy yourself. So if for some reason it's just that hard for you to play that character, then don't play that character, but pick the next best thing. Even if you don't like that character, at least it's not somebody that you hate, but that character needs to really mesh your team very, very well together. So the reason for Goku, for the reason why I ended up going with him, even though I really don't like him too much as a character, is for the corner loops with Piccolo. I know I was one of those people with the Piccolo loops and whatnot, but for getting those extensions, for going into the beam, heavy, into another beam, into a pool, to have that extra almost like 1000 damage or whatever that it was, and then going into Dragon Rush with Vegeta assist, it was super, super good. I ended up liking being able to do double supers with Vegeta as well. So if I got somebody up in the air off of a super dash or off of some sort of vanish, then I could go into a big bang and then do an angled Kamehameha as well to get 2 supers off, which typically I can't do with anybody else pretty much because the super is up in the air at a pretty weird angle. So he also allowed, and Super Saiyan Goku, he also allowed me to do a Super Kamehameha mid-air to transition into a fully charged special beam with Piccolo. So there were a lot of things that he really covered. Same thing for block strings, he was allowing me to be able to have a good duration and lockdown for that. So I liked everything that he had to offer. And now I've ended up finally solving my team crisis. I thankfully didn't get stuck on it for too long with Jiren, Cell, and then Super Saiyan Vegeta. So Jiren actually fit that role for Goku. I do like him as a character, definitely more than Goku, funnily enough. I know that some people think that he's too generic of a character, but I thought that Jiren was super cool. Cell is that character I believe in, and then Vegeta is also a character I believe in. I feel that he rounds out everything very, very well, and then he's also my favorite character, so he actually fits all 3 of those things for me. So these are the things that I feel should hopefully help you out in some way, shape, or form. I know that you can try and force yourself to do other things, but I feel that you need to be very reasonable. You don't want to be that person that says, I'm just going to play top tiers and nothing else. I don't care about anything else. Winning is the most important thing to me. You got to be pretty realistic for how stuff works, right? You need to be able to enjoy the game, pick somebody that you enjoy in some way, shape, or form. And then you also need to, I know that this one's very important, that you really, really do need to believe in that character, that you can get the job done one way or another. Now, does that mean that that character is going to be perfect, to be able to do everything? No, but that character needs to have enough strengths that you feel are good, that you can utilize. If people think that it's a lower tier character, that they haven't spent the time with it, but you have, or you want to spend the time with it and make it worth it, then that's fine. But don't get too caught up on everything else. It can be a bit hard to kind of come to terms with certain things, but I feel that if you can end up fitting those 3 things that I mentioned, character that you like, somebody that you believe in, and then somebody that helps round everything out, give yourself time with that team. Please, please, please do not jump around too much. That third character, the one that's meshing everything together, they might start kind of going into that other category that you start believing in them more the more that you play them, or they might end up going into that first category where you start really enjoying the character. You're like, you know what, maybe I never thought of the character like this. Maybe they're actually pretty good, or maybe they're actually pretty cool. Like, maybe their win quotes end up winning you over or something like that, right? So give yourself time though, be extremely patient. Once you fit those 3 requirements, that I feel anyways, I would say give yourself a week at minimum with that team. Probably try and stick it out for 2 weeks. Obviously a month's a little bit long, but give yourself time, find out certain things, join discords as well, try to find out team synergy and whatnot. I actually was able to get over my character crisis for keeping Cell on the team because I messed around with Trunks, then I messed around with, I was thinking about Piccolo, and then I was even maybe going to go into Bardock as much as I really didn't want to. Android 16, I really was struggling to try and come up with a third for my Jiren and Super Saiyan Goku, but after joining the Jiren Discord, it actually really helped me with team synergy. Somebody giving me new tech for how to connect the cell assist for mid-screen carries. So join Discords if you feel comfortable doing that anyways, but look up stuff on YouTube and whatnot. Maybe you'll find something that you were unaware of before that really helps cement what you were thinking or what you thought the character could do, and just be consistent for your stuff, I guess. But I believe in all of you for solving your character crisis, and hopefully this helped you out in some way. So I'll catch you all in the next video.